This is today's project. The fence is over 18 years old and it's held up fairly well, except for this area here and the hinges. Let's go to a tighter shot and I'll show you what I mean. The gates are in need of repair. You can see that this wood is rotting out here. The bottom hinges on both gates have failed. I'm not really sure why. I think it could have been the pressure treated wood. This whole fence was pressure treated, with the exception of this wood that constructed the cross pieces on the gate. I think what they were concerned about is pressure treated can warp over time, and I didn't catch it until a long time ago. So even though these look pretty good, we're going to replace the top piece on both gates. I also have new hinges I'm going to install that I think are going to last at least for another 18 years. The first thing I need to do is take the gate off the fence. When I did that, all the bolts disintegrated. They were all rusted out and they were going to have to be replaced anyway. On my other gate, I did replace the bolts on the top and the bottom was okay, but look at this. I can't understand how this is all rusted out. It looks like we've got some ants playing here, so we're probably going to have to clean that out, drive some wood pegs in there. I've moved the gate to the side, and one of the things I noticed is there's these big holes where the old hardware was. So I've taken a 1/2-inch poplar wood dowel and a 1/2-inch drill bit, and I have this drill block guide, unsponsored, but it's great for drilling holes like this. I'm going to clean out the hole of the old hardware in the wood. Super glue, wood glue, again, not sponsored. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to do a wood project where I need some wood glue and it's all dried out. The great thing about this size is it's good for 1.5 projects, and then you can just throw it away. And it's ready to go. I got this at a dollar store. And it used to be $1. Now it's a little more, but it's well worth it if you're just going to do projects every once in a while involving wood. And boy, there's a ton of little gnats out here right now. So let me show you how I did this. 1/2-inch drill bit, 1/2-inch drill guide, start the hole, put that in place. Use your dowel and see how deep you are. So I'm about that deep, which is good. And put a whole bunch of wood glue in there and the dowel back and get a hammer, drive it home. A flush cut saw like this, then tap it off again. If I would have left the hole, a bug will get in there, carpenter bee, whatever it is, and just make it worse. Sometimes the hole was too big, so I actually stacked it. So I put this one in first. There was a little bit more of a gap and I wasn't feeling real comfortable about that, so I just drilled another hole with the 1/2-inch drill, and there you go. If I need to tap into these spots with the hinge, it's ready to go, but even if I don't, it helps preserve the post and make it last much longer time. A couple things before I move forward. I did the same thing that I did to the post. This is 3/8-inch dowel that I plugged the holes with on the piece that I'm going to keep. This has been custom made for that gate. I want to keep these two pieces in place. That way it keeps the gate as it was intended or as it was originally built. Now if you were building this gate originally, you would just lay these pieces out, make sure the distances are right, and then cut these pieces. Another detail that I just realized I have to do is this is the gate closing pin. There's a hole here to let the spoon through, so I'll have to drill that out. But I have a template on the other side, so I need to retain these screws, so I'll be able to do that. And if you needed to replace this piece here and that piece here, I would recommend you do it one at a time. In other words, take that piece off and then mount it, take this piece off, mount it, then this piece off, mount it, so that you just keep the whole thing square and you don't have to get crazy about spacing and all that stuff. Using a short pry bar and a hammer, getting under here and pulling off this piece. Even though it's rotted on the top, it's amazing how it's still in there to some extent. Before I started removing this piece, I took a pencil and just marked down the lines here so it would be easier to put the replacement in the exact same spot. I don't want to go directly with the hammer because I might split this wood here, so I'm just putting the pry bar down and lifting it up a little bit and giving it some taps to loosen up this piece from the vertical pieces of wood. Took the rotted piece off. It was pretty bad. And I made a duplicate length. I took all the nails that were popped up and I just hammered them back so they're on the other side of the board. And that also gives me holes on which to hit to touch in. I'm going to try to use the original nails, and if for some reason I can't, then I'll put in screws or nails. This is a piece of pressure treated wood I had in my garage. It's all dried now. It's probably a couple years old. I had it for another project, so it's just perfect for this length. On both ends, I clamped it down. I tapped in the nails below, kind of center it a little bit. And then I think I'm going to stand it up like this and nail in the rest of the vertical pieces. Here's where I clamped it on that side, and I also nailed in this cross piece here. I replaced all of the nails with T20 screws, 1.5 inch, and they're just going to be so much stronger and better. They're a little shiny here, but they'll kind of fade out in the sunlight, just like this wood will eventually, being out in the weather. You could stain this if you really wanted to. Using a 3/4 inch spade drill, I just cleaned that hole all the way through to the new horizontal piece so that we can put that in place. I pre-drilled the hole for the old bolt. It's just a matter of putting it in until it goes and then ratcheting it in place. So when I did the fit check, this piece was rubbing up against the post. So all I did is just take and clamp it off, moved it this way just a skosh, and then I re-screwed it, and I'll probably put another screw in there just for good measure to keep it in place. And that way, when I put the gate up, it will be nice and flush. Since I don't want this dry, older wood to split, I did pre-drill a hole before putting in this screw. I've propped it up on the bottom with a piece of decking. I've shimmed it up on both corners to make sure it's balanced out. And then I put in these construction lag screws into the post because they're super beefy. I've used them on other projects and they work really well. Then I'm using the screws, which look pretty good. They came with the kit, and I'm clamping it down and pre-drilling holes. And I did this one first. Now I'm just going to repeat it down on the bottom here, put in 2 screws, those 2 screws. Once it all seems to work well, going open and close, just finish it off on all these hinges. So now for the moment of truth. This is so satisfying. I nailed it, and it works. Now I have to do is put this piece on, finish all the screws and lag bolts on this side, and this is done. So there you go, project complete. Took out a junky piece of wood, put in a new one, installed some hinges. It's the same process whether you repair or build. Just this simple modification here would have cost hundreds of dollars, maybe $500–600 in my area, if somebody was to do this for you. The hinges, 2 of them, cost $10. This piece of wood, about $4 or $5. $10 at the max. So maybe $20–25 in parts, in your labor, and you can get this project done. At first, it seems pretty complicated, but hopefully this video has broken it down for you so you feel comfortable enough to try it yourself. And you should. Thumbs up and comments, always appreciated. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in all sorts of home repairs, making and breaking things, designs of all kinds, I even do costumes, cosplay, and props. Check out my channel and please subscribe, because you never know what fix you're gonna see.